Hello guys, Javad is here after a while, and in this video we are going to model and render a kitchen and full project kitchen in REVIT and ENSCAPE. As you saw in the intro, the animations and the image of this great project. In this video I'm gonna teach you the full workflow from modeling, materials, lighting and rendering. This is the project that we are going to model and render. You can see it has a good quality for REVIT and ENSCAPE. You can achieve much better qualities, but it needs more time. I will try to explain all of the techniques and all of the things that you need to achieve something like this. This is the basis bit that we want to design our kitchen and model our kitchen in it. Also, I need to tell you that the main reference for this modeling is this picture that we found on Pinterest. I don't know the exact designer name, but this is the main reference and we are going to work with that. And if I would go to the level, you can see the space. We have this space in here and we want to have our kitchen in this area. And you can find this file on my Patreon, or you can model it by yourself. And also, as I said, you can find all of the exercise files and more features. And if you want to support me, you can go on my Patreon. Okay, this is the space and let's start modeling. Let's go to 3D and let's have a section box. To start with our modeling, I will model this part and then we will come in here and we will model these parts too. This is a really simple extrusion, so I just will show you some basic steps in here. For this tutorial, I will do the modeling with model in place, but if you want to do it with more BIM approach, you need to do it with families. Let's go to the component and let's go to the model in place and casework. And let's call it cabinet. And if you have problems with the standards and the dimensions of kitchen, you can find it really easily on internet. For example, I have some picture in here. I will put it on my Patreon too. You can find it on internet really easily too, that you will have some dimensions to use it as a reference, for example, for the depths and for the height of your cabinet units. Okay, that's great. This is the part that we have our tall units. Let's go to the extrusion and I will create a model in here. First of all, let's set our work plane to this part, and now let's create our model here and let's align it with this part. And also in the base of your cabinet you need a place to prevent from destroying the cabinet, this part that I'm talking about. That's about 15 centimeter. Let's move this 15 centimeter to the top. I don't want to disjoin that. Let's go 15 centimeter up. And now that's great. This is the main part of the cabinet, and then we will model the doors at the top of it. As I said, this is the purpose for visualization, not for BIM parts. Okay, that's great. Click on finish. I think the depths, because we want to have our refrigerator in here, depths of 70 centimeter is great. So let's put it on 70 centimeter in here. And as I said, we will model the doors after. That's great. And let's do the exact thing for this part, but with about 5 centimeter lower depths. Let's select this and let's go to the copy to clipboard and align to the same place. And let's go to the front and let's bring it down from here to here and from here to here. And that's great. And let's put it on 65 for this part. It will have a lower depth. And then we need our doors. Let's see our doors in here. We have some different units. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. But the last two are much smaller. The width of these ones, it depends, but for here I think we need to divide. For example, let's have a dimensions in here. it is about 366, and let's divide it by 7. It will be about 52 centimeter, but I will assume that this is 60 centimeter, and the last two will be smaller. Okay, that's great. Let's set our work plan at the top of this part in here. Let's go to the create, extrusion again. Let's create a peak line and with 60 centimeter. And for the last two, I need to align this one with this one, not this one with this one. Let's bring these here. Let's put it something like here, or maybe that's great. And for these two, I'm going to make these three smaller. Can work more precisely, but this is the tutorial, so I'm not going to spend more time on here. Let's begin here, and we want a space between each door, and it will be about 1 centimeter to have good shadows. For example, in here you can see we have a space between each door. It will be 1 centimeter and 5 millimeter from each side. To achieve to something like that, you need to click on peak line and put it on 5 millimeter. Create a 5 millimeter offset from each side, and then you can copy these lines, select these lines and copy them to these parts that you have very easily. Okay, now that's great, and we want the same thing for the top part too, but before that I need to adjust the height that we need. For example, in here I need to show you the exact heights that we have. Let me go to the section in here and show you the exact elevations that we have. For here you can see the elevations. We have three main part. We have 15 centimeter to 30 and 30. Okay, that's for that. So for this part we have 230. Let's bring a line to 230, and from here let's create a auxiliary line in here, and let's bring it at the end, and let's extend all of these lines to here. And we need to do some trimming in here, and we need to do splits, and because it's a repetitive task, I will do it and we will see the result at the end. Now we have the lines for top. We can select all of these lines, and then we can just mirror it or copy it from the top to the bottom, and we don't need to do the same thing again. Now we are good to go. Click on finish. Now assign a 2 centimeter or maybe 1.5 centimeter to the thickness of these doors. And now we have these doors in here. Then we can start to model this part. Before that, let's assign our work plane to here and specify some dimensions. As I said, we have some standards here. We have 90 centimeters, 68 and 72. We have to specify these areas for ourselves. To do that, we can do it with lines. Let's go to the create and click on reference line, and let's put it on peak line, and let's put it on 92 centimeter. This is the top of the countertop in here, and then we have 68 centimeter for the distance between the ground and aerial cabinets, and then we have 72 for this part. Okay, that's great, and we have our lines in here. We can start modeling. We can see the cabinets in here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Each of them about 30 centimeters, so it will be about 3 meters in this part, and then we have two closet units in here too. We can model it after that, but the depths for the ground units are about 60 centimeters, and the depths for the aerial units are about 40 centimeter and these closet units are 60 centimeters. First of all, let's model the ground units that we have in here, and we want to specify about 3 meter in here. Okay, let's go in here and let's go to create an extrusion and let's specify the end of this unit. Let's put it on 3 meter, and this will be the end of this unit that we have. Or the units maybe will be different. We can assign the more dimension to our units if you want. For example, let's have a dimension in here for this unit. Let's specify 50, so we have 5 meter in here. Let's assign the 5 meter. Let's bring it 2 meter to the right side. And now we have our units in here. Okay, that's great, and we can create an extrusion from here to here. Let's do a trim, and then let's move it 50 centimeter up for the ground part. That's great. Now click on finish, and the depth will be 60 centimeter. Let's put it on 60, and let's copy it at the same place and do the same thing that we did for the other side. And now we have the same thing in here, and we will do the doors in here. We have different doors in here. Make sure to do it differently from the other side, and you will do the same thing for these parts. This is not a really big deal, and you need to create 2 units in here, and then at the top of them we have another stripe that you need to model. Because they are really easy, I'm not going to model them again, but there are 2 tips that I need to tell you for modeling that I will show you in the next part. This is the finished part of the modeling. I have some voids in here. You can ignore them right now because we'll create them after we've played our asset. We have refrigerator, microwaves, and we have our sink and those kind of things in here. And you can see the unit shapes in here. You can replicate them. And the next tip that you need to make sure to have it in your modeling is these fillets that I have at the edges of the countertop. This is a sweep void. I can select it for you. Let's go to the select profile and let's see the profile for you. Let's go to the edit profile. You can see we have some profiles that I've subtract them from the edge of our countertop, because it will this is much realistic, and this detail will help you in lighting. And also we have the same thing for this part of the bar and also for this part of the bar, so they are really essential for your work. So that's the end of the modeling part, and now let's do our asset placement. One of the main part of having a good rendering is our assets and our objects. As you know, the Revit objects are not that great for rendering, so we need to use Enscape assets. This is the final part. This is the final result, and I have to tell you some tips about the assets. For example, you can see we have some stalls, refrigerator, microwave. We have some vegetations and pots in here. And honestly, the kitchen assets of Enscape are not that great, so we've prepared for you a complete kitchen asset collection. You can, the first 5 people to use this discount code in here, kitchen discount code, you can buy it for 40% from ecasset.com. After you've downloaded your asset, or if you want to place your assets, you can go to the asset in here. You can use some Enscape assets in here. For example, we have some great pots. For example, you can search for pots. I want 2 pots for this side. Let's go in here. I want 2 pots that I placed in here. You can see them in picture. I need some pots in here. You can bring some pots and check them which one is much better. I think I use this one. You can place it and you can scale it afterwards. And I want this one too. Yeah, this one, and you can select them. Let me place it. You can select them and you can press G to scale them for your needs, and for this one too you can scale them. This is really easy. You just need to have your right assets, and as I said, you have no problems because we've prepared great assets and realistic assets for you on easyasset.com. And then click on assets, and you will have your assets in here. You can have some custom assets that we've prepared for you. For example, you can place some great coffees in here, great kitchen appliance, or even refrigerator and microwave. For example, let's place it in here. You can place it in here and even in Revit environment. It depends on you and which one you are more comfortable with. Click on exception and let's place them in Revit, because for this purpose I think it is much easier to do it in Revit. Let's go to the section box and we need to rotate it, and then let's go here and you just need to align it to the right place and you're good to go. Is that easy and you don't need any extra works. You can do the scaling too if you want. For example, let's go to the Enscape environment. You can do the scaling or you can do any movement that you need. For example, I want to bring it to the inside a little bit. I don't want that much of the edge in that place. Let's click on apply change and we are good to go. And you can place some other assets that I've placed. For example, let me show you the final result. We have some stores in here. We have some things. They are really easy to place, and you just need to select the right assets. For example, you can see the pods in here. These pods are from Enscape Asset Library. This stove and this appliance are from our kitchen asset Enscape, and also this stool is from our EC Asset website. And you can place any asset that you want to. Okay, that's the case. I will place all of the assets and we will go for materials. Now it's time to do the materials, another important part in your rendering process. In this scene, we have 4 main materials. We have the floor materials, which is a stone or ceramic or tile. And I will show you the settings of this material. And then we have a material for the main parts of the cabinets. We have the same material from here, in here, in here, and in here. And we have a specific material from the same texture but with different setting for the bar and for the countertops. And also we have the exact texture again with this with the different setting for this part that we have between these units. Let's go to the materials and let's see the difference between each of them. These are the 2 material and textures that I've used. The first one is this one. I haven't used the diffuse map, but I've used the specular map and displacement map for some other materials that I have. But for the diffuse map and for the main parts, I've used this material that you can see in here. And now let's see the settings together. Now we have our scene with all of the assets with the lights too. We don't have any lighting, but we have placed our light assets or lamp assets. And now we want to create material. But before that, I have a tip for you. For example, in this modeling places, make sure to select the parts that you want to assign one material to them. For example, this part and this part, and select all of the parts that you want to assign one material to them. And then from here, create a material parameter for them. As you can see, we have some different materials. We have main black material, secondary black matte, and we have our other materials. For example, the second black material is for our countertops. I've selected them and create a parameter for them because it will help you to assign materials to these parts even outside the model in place environment. You can click on edit type and now you have your materials in here. Let's go to the main material and let's create our materials for ourselves. But let me bring the Enscape window in here. This is our scene with all of the assets but with no materials. Let's bring it in here and let's create our first material, or even I can make it much bigger. And in here, let's create our first material. To do that, you need to, first of all, you need to create the material in your Revit material library, a material editor. Let's rename it to TATBIM Black. Use render appearance, click on OK. And now let's go to the Enscape material editor and let's find that material in here and let's bring the maps that we need. I will bring the maps. In metals, I need to select the diffuse map from here and we can see the results too. But to see the results in here, I need to select this kitchen model in place and I need to assign the material that we've created to the main black material. This is the one. Let's click on OK and OK. And now you can see the material in here. You can see some materials in here, but this is not the one that we are looking for. And in here, let me reset the settings of Enscape to see better results. This is the default settings of Enscape. You can see the material in here, and we have a normal map too. You can bring the displacement map or normal map. I'm much more comfortable with a displacement map, but for this one, I will bring the normal map in here. Make sure to put it on normal map, and I want a really smooth surface, so I will put it on a really low number, maybe 20, and that's great. And then we have some maps for our roughness. Let's bring the roughness map. You can see for roughness, when you bring the roughness, it doesn't give you the best result at first, so you need to play with a specular and metallic. Because it's a metal, you can bring the metal to a up number, maybe to something like this. But you can see the result of the roughness map is really too high, so you can bring the specular to the really low number in here, and you can bring the metallic to the top of it. You can see the results in here. If you are not satisfied with this, you can change the roughness map to some other maps. For example, as I said, I have a great roughness map to the other material. In here, we can see we have a roughness map that is much intense. I can bring this one to here. In here, I can bring the specular to something really low, maybe 1. And then let's bring the metallic to a really low number, something like this. And then I need a tint 2 to make it much more black. You can go to the advanced and you can make it much smooth. And you can see the scale of the roughness is not that great. You can make it much bigger too. For example, let's go in here and put it on explicit. And let's put it on 3 to 3. And let's go back, and in here let's bring the specular to a more number. And for the metallic, let's make it more metallic. And for the specular, just put it on 1. This is good for me because when you place the lighting, it will be much better. And then you can play with materials, and you can, for example, bring the specular even lower or bring the metallic to the higher number or lower number. For example, you can bring it to something like this, or even if you don't like the texture of the diffuse, you can just delete it, and you can assign a color to it. I don't want a tint color. I want a advanced color. I want just can have a color with a roughness. It is much better for me for these situations. And now you can increase the metallic to something like this, and this is the material that I'm looking for this metallic part that I have. And then you can create some other materials. You can duplicate from this material, and you can just assign some different roughness and some different things to it. For example, let's go to here and let's create a new material for our secondary black, and I just want to have it with lower roughness. Let's duplicate from this one, duplicate material with assets. Let's call it maybe taught second math, and let's go to the Enscape material editor. Let's click on OK, and you can see we have the material in here. Let's go to the Enscape material editor, and in here let's search it. And in here I don't want the roughness from this map. I want a really low roughness because I have a glossy surface for that part, and can change the roughness according to your needs. For example, maybe something like this. If you want the exact map, you can bring the exact map again, and you can play with specular more, or you can bring the metallic to a low number and can play with specular. But this is not the result that I want. My better result will be with lower roughness and with the higher metallic a little bit. Also for this part, I don't want the color, I want the map that I had for diffuse. It will be a little bit better. And now I have our map in here, but I need to make it more black, so I can assign a color to the tint parameter that we have. You can adjust it to something like this, and this is great. I can use this map that I will put for you for the tile in textures folder. This is the map that I have for our stone. We have diffuse, we have the diffuse, and we have roughness, and also we have our displacement. You can use that texture for here because it's a PBR material and we have all of the materials. This is not that hard. If you want to learn more about materials, make sure to comment, and I will create a specific video about materials too. Now we have the scene with the finished materials. To help you better, I will show you the exact parameters of each material here, because there are lots of manipulation in material creation. Let's go to the materials. For example, we have for our secondary part, we have a diffuse map. We don't have any bump. We have this roughness, metallic, and a specular setting. And for the main cabinet black parameter, we have a color, and we have a reflection with the a little bit metallicness, and also we have a really low specular for here. And for the floor, we have the diffuse part. We have a little bit tint to it because it was too white, so I assigned a tint color to it. And then we have a bump map, and then we have some roughness, low roughness, because we want some reflections, and this specular you can see in here. But now it's the time for the hardest part in rendering, in my opinion, and that is lighting. Now it's time to do the lighting. As I said, it's one of the I can say it's the most important part, and also it is one of the hardest part. To show you the importance of the lights, let's see some pictures. This is the first picture without any light, with all of the materials and assets, but with no light, bad lighting. And when you have a good knowledge about lighting, you will you will go from this to this. You can see the difference between these two images. It is really obvious. And for example, in here we have hard shadows and bad lighting, but in here you can see it is much smoother part. But let's see how we can do some lightings like this. As you can see in Enscape, we have a Enscape sun for our natural lighting, but it has some hard shadows that I don't like. So the first step that I do in lighting, I go to the visual setting, and visual setting in a atmosphere tab, I will turn off the sign brightness. You can see the scene changed, and it's even much better right now. without any lighting. I will simulate the sun lighting with a spotlight. So let's put the Enscape in here and see the results. Let me turn off the save frame, and in here let's add some lightings. To add lightings, you can bring different lightings or you can create some. I really need to create them because we don't have the exact lights without geometry, because I don't need any geometry. To do that, you need to go to the file, new, and family, and in here let's go to the English and metric lighting fixture. That's the one that I need. Let's go and open it. Let me minimize this one, and in here let's go to 3D and let's see the lights in here. You can see we have a light, and when you select it, I'm going to go to the light source definition. And in here you want to be on point and you want to have a spotlight, so select this one and click on OK, and now we are good to go. But before that, I need to have a small geometry in here to be able to select it in 3D. To do that, let's go to the create tab, click on extrusion, and let's create a small extrusion in here. I just want a small extrusion. Let's put it on 20 millimeter, and also I don't want it to be too big because I don't want any shadows from this light for itself, because we want to simulate the sun. So that's great. Click on finish, and for the extrusion end it's gonna be 20 again, and let's save it. I will put the lights and families on my Patreon. Let's put down the spotlight, and then let's load it into the project. To simulate the sun, let's place some lights in here. You can see our geometry is not in a good place, so let's go to the edit family and let's go to 3D and let's select it and let's bring it to the light source that we have. Now let's load it again and we'll have much better results. Okay, let's bring the Enscape again to see the difference in here. Let's go here and let's bring it up. Let me make this one a little bit smaller. Let's go to the front view and let's put it in here. Okay, that's great. You can see some difference in here, but the angle is not that great. Let's select it and let's go to the edit tab, and for the angle you can see it is about 60 degree in here. Let's put it on 20 maybe, and let's just click on apply. 20 is good, but I need to bring it down a little bit, maybe here, and that's great. But you can see the placement is not okay. Let's go to the front and let's bring it behind the window that we have, and the height of this is good. And I want to create a 5 copy of it, and then we will change the density. Don't just place one light with really high density. Place 5 with lower intensity, because it will give you much smoother shadows in comparison with hard shadows. Let's copy it. Even we can go with 6. You can see the lights in here. It is much lighter right now, or you can select the light and you can go to the settings and bring the intensity a little bit up. Let's go to the initial intensity, and in here let's put it on illuminance, and I want about 1000 intensity in here. Let's click on OK. You can see the difference. I need to press on apply, also click on OK to see the density. Also for the initial color, I want my lights to be zone, so let's put it on zone, xenon, and click on OK and OK. You can see the lights in here, but as you can see we have some shadows in here. I don't like these shadows, so I need to make my scene much lighter. To do that, I will place some other lights from these ones in lower height. To do that, let's select all of these and let's create a copy in here. You can see the shadows are much better, but to even make it better, move them a little bit to have much smoother shadows. For example, this is great. Also, even you can change the tilt angle if you want. This is the first light that we want, but we need some other lights for our for different scenes and different parts that we have. For example, we want some sphere lighting and sphere lighting for here. So let's create a sphere light. We can go to the 3D in here and just select this one and put it on sphere lighting, something like this for our lamps. Click on OK. Let's save it. Let's create save as from this one. And let's bring it into our project and let's just place it in here and then we will do our work. So let's create a section box in here. If you can see the light source in here, make sure to press VG and go to the lighting fixture and make sure to check the light source because it is really helpful when you're doing the lighting. And my lights should go into the lamps that we have. So let's make it right from the front view and then we can do it in other view too. Let's bring it to the right place that we need. It needs to go to something like here. You can see we have some lights in here and let's create a copy from this one into the other one. Okay, that's great, but let's zoom a little bit and let's see that we see our geometry in here because we don't have to see that. It is good right now, but for this one you can see we have some additional geometry that we are seeing in here. So let's bring it a little bit in. Okay, that's great. Let me select this one and let's go to the right view and let's bring it in. You can see the preview in the Enscape too. Because we are simulating this light for these lamps that we have. Because we have lamps and also we have light sources. But for these lights in here, I don't want a really white light. I want a warm light. So let's go to the edit type of them. And let's go to the edit type. Let me select these. Let's go to the edit type and make sure to have much intensity, more intensity. Let's put the elements. I want about maybe 500 and click on apply. And also for initial color, I want them to be halogen. And if you want them to have color, you can do that too from here. Click on OK. You can see it is much better right now and we have some vibrance in here. But the lighting is not over because we have a hidden light in here because we need to add it with linear lights. Also, we need some filler lights. To add your linear lights, let's make the section box smaller. And let's bring it up. And for the linear lights, it's not a good idea to use self-illuminated materials because they don't give you a natural lighting vibrance. So you need to use linear light. To bring linear lights, let's go to the file or you can go to the family and create a linear light. To do that, just select this and go to the light source and put it on linear. And for here, I want a semi-sphere because I just want the light to come down, not coming to everywhere. So let's put it on hemispherical. Click on OK, and now we are good to go. Let's create a save as from this and let's bring it into our project. You can see the placement is not that great right now. Just place it and then we will find it. Let's go and make the section box much bigger and let's find this hemispherical light that we have. This is the one that we have. Let's go to the top and let's bring it to the right place that we need. I think this is the right place because I can see the edge, but I don't want the geometry of that we have because it will create a shadow that I don't like. So let's go to 3D of this and let's delete the geometry that we've created. And let's load it again and let's reload. And now we can create a section box around this. And let's change it to shaded and do the copying for ourselves. But there are some tips. It needs to go, you can see the light in here. Let me zoom. You can see the light in here. It needs to go upper, much higher, more upper, sorry. For example, let me bring it in here and let's see it from here, something like this. Okay, that's great. And I need this to be in here. You can see this line, this is the main area that it will have lights, so don't make sure these lights are in the place that you want. Okay, that's great, but we have two other parts. I need to bring the light intensity of this one much higher. Let's put it on luminance and let's put it on maybe 500 again, and let's click on OK. It is really light, so let me bring it down to maybe 300. And for the light color, I need a different color, really a special color. And also for the initial color, I want it to be xenon. So let's put on xenon. I want a really cool light. And for initial color, let's put it on some lights like this, some color like this, and let's click on OK. That's great. We'll deal with the colors and those kind of things. But let's create copy from this. But before that, the symbol is too big, so let's go to this part and put the symbol size on something much smaller, maybe something like this. You can see the symbol, it is much more better, and it will be much easier to work. Let's copy it, but copy it from these lines, not from this part, because it will create some gaps between your lights that you don't want to have them in your lighting. Okay, now you can see I have our light in here, and this is a better light in here, but the intensity is a little bit high. You can change it and you can bring it down, but the main part is that you can see our scene is too dark right now, and in some places we have hard shadows, for example in here, also in here. So we need to have some fake lighting or filler lights. For example, when you are doing the photography, you will have some additional lights to make your image look better. So we need to add them in here as we do in photography. But how we can do that? To create our filler light, I use linear lights but in vertical mode. What's the point of them? Let's, for example, go to the 3D and let's create a save as from this one. For example, let's create a save as, and we need to make them vertical. But how we can do it? Let's bring the project browser in here and let's go to front view. Let's rotate this. Okay, that's great. Remove constraint, and then right now let's align them again to have our light in place. Let's bring it up a little bit, and then we can align it with this line, and then we can lock it. Okay, now that's great. Let's bring these lights in, and now let's place it in here. I want some zone lights and with lower intensity. Okay, let's bring the light intensity to something like maybe 100, because I want to have lots of them in our scene. Let's put it on 200 maybe, and then we can change the intensity. And for the initial color, let's put it on xenon, because I want a cool scene. Okay, that's great. And to be able to, let's bring the light symbol to a low number, maybe 10. That's great. And let's create some copy from this in weights, in a horizontal part and also in vertical part. Let's create 4 copy from this. And from this, I'm going to create some copy in vertical part 2. I want to simulate a softbox lighting in here. Okay, let's create one in here, also one in here. And then we can select all of them, and we can create a group from them to be able to move them to the right place. For example, I think we need one in here maybe. You can see it is much better lighting right now in here. You can rotate it a little bit because it will be much better and smoother maybe in here. And also I want another one in here. So let's create a copy from them and let's bring it in here. And let's rotate it. Not that much. something like this. You can see our scene is much lighter right now, but you need to bring the lights a little bit here, maybe to don't see the lights in here, but we need some more intensity in here. So let's select them. Let's select one of them, and let's go to the edit type, and let's bring the intensity a little bit up, maybe 300. We have good lights in here, but the only thing that I have problem with is the distance between them. You can see the distance is really small, so we need to create more distance between them. To do that, let's go to the edit group and create a more distance between these lights that you have. And because they are grouped, they will update it automatically. Now let's bring the Enscape again. You can see it is much better. If you have problem with the lighting effect in here, you can delete the lower ones, or you can bring them a little bit back to have better lights. And now that's the lighting for this, and now it's the time to do some visual settings for our final render. In any rendering engine, the post-processing is important for some minor issues or minor intentions that you want to achieve. For example, you can see the picture in here that I achieved at the end of this tutorial, but you can see our lights in here. You can do some adjustments in lightings in those kind of places, but it is a little bit hard to do that. So we can do it with settings. For example, let's see the difference between having good visual settings and this is the video this is the image with visual setting, and this is the image without any visual setting. Okay, let's go to the visual setting, but before that, because for the shot that I want, which is in here, I need to have a 2-point perspective. So let's put it on 2-point perspective, and for aerial views it is better to have 3-point perspective. Okay, this is the camera that I want, so I need to go to the view management, and then I can create a view from this place. Let's click on create view, and for the preset you can change it afterward. Let's put it on custom preset right now, or maybe 2, and then let's call it new 3D. Okay, and let's create it, and now this is the part. Let's put it on 2-point perspective, and now let's go to the visual setting that we are looking for. Let me bring it in here and here. For the auto exposure, it's good. For the total exposure, I wanted it to be a little bit darker in comparison with the previous one. I want it to be a little bit darker. And for field of view, I want a zoomed in camera because I don't want to see all of the parts in here. And I think maybe this amount of field of view is great. We can change the 8 with E and Q again. And for depth of field, I don't want any depth of field in this camera. And I can go to the image. I don't want to have an auto contrast because it doesn't create any difference. But for the highlights, I'm going to slightly decrease the highlight. And for the shadows, default shadows are great. But for the saturation, I want a little bit cooler scene, so I will bring the saturation down, something like this. This is the thing that I'm looking for. And for the color temperature, I want it to be cooler, so I will bring it to a little bit I will increase it a little bit. And for motion blur and lens flare, I don't want any of them, but for the bloom, you can see the lighting doesn't have any good bloom, so we can increase it a little bit. You can see the results in here. And that's great. For the atmosphere, I don't want any fog, I don't want any side brightness. Let's bring the sun brightness down. And for the shadow sharpness, make sure to make it too smooth. You can see the difference in here, in these shadows that we have. I want the sharpness in the lowest possible part. And for the artificial light, you can bring it high or low if you want more artificial light or lower artificial light. But the default number is great. Maybe a little bit darker. I like it a little bit darker, maybe something like this. And for the sky, I don't want to have the default sky. I want bring HDRI because it will create a mood for this. Let's put it on a skybox and let's bring the HDRI that we have. This is the one that I want to put. I can see there are some vibe that the HDRI will bring into your scene. So make sure to use them. Okay, that's great. And for the output, I want a full HD output, and let's turn on the save frame, and let's just click on take a screenshot, and let's create a screenshot from this scene. Now this is the final screenshot, and I've also made some other cameras and other views. You can create them too for yourself. And that's the video that we have. Make sure to like this video, and if you want me to create more tutorials like this, make sure to support me on patreon.com. Also, if you want to learn more about tips that you can enhance your rendering, make sure to watch this video in here.